Hi, everyone. This is Frank Sinatra from Pennsauken Township, and I would like to welcome all of the Facebook viewers that are coming here for the presentation from Concord Energy Services and Constellation New Energy regarding Pennsauken's energy aggregation program. Just before we get started, a few quick housekeeping rules. We will be having a presentation where representatives from Constellation and Concord will say a few words about what's been happening with some residents' electric bills in the last few months, the steps that have been taken to prevent this from happening again, what residents can do regarding this issue, and then we will have a question and answer session at the end that if any residents need additional clarification or have some extra questions, that you can use the comment section of this live video in order to facilitate that. We'll try and take them in the order in which they come. We do ask that we do have a little bit of decorum with this. We understand that a lot of residents are confused and frustrated and a little bit angry, and I think everyone that's been part of this presentation have shared those emotions with you as well. So, we will do our best to answer honestly and openly about the questions that you have. So, moving forward, let's make some introductions. So, thank you again for joining us here. We have today's speakers. We have Sam Morgan. He's the manager of government aggregations for Constellation. In addition, we have we've got Tara Pasca. She's manager of government programs for Concord Energy Services. And we also have Vicki Malloy. She's vice president of energy advisory and commodity consulting for Concord. Okay, so take it away, guys.
Thanks, Frank. This is Sam Morgan from Constellation Energy, and Frank, I appreciate the opportunity to come here today. I'm sorry that it's under the circumstances, but as a representative of Constellation, I'd like to say first off that Constellation is committed to providing a high level of service to its customers and being accountable when we fall short of that standard, as we did here. So the first thing I'd like to do is start off by apologizing on behalf of Constellation to both Pennsauken Township and the residents of Pennsauken Township who were affected by the billing error that we created. So what we're going to do is walk through kind of what happened and what we're doing, and try to give folks an ability to get unconfused and take a path forward. And then, as Frank said, we will try to answer any questions that folks have. So first off, I'd just like to walk through what happened. Many of you may have noticed that your August bill covering charges from July to August was lower than usual. The electric bill you would have received from PSE&G. And then many I know did notice when you received your bill in September covering August to September that it was much higher. The reason for this is that Constellation had an internal error in late August, which caused a delay in us providing the supply charges to PSE&G, which made PSE&G unable to bill for our supply charges. As a result, around 3,400 Pennsauken Township residents were not charged for supply for that month. And to correct that lack of billing for July to August, those missed charges were included on residents' bill they would have received at the end of September. So this meant that September bill included 2 months worth of supply charges. The charges that were not billed for July to August, as well as charges for August to September. So it's important to note that there were no extra charges billed. Consumers were billed at the contracted rate for the actual supply used. Now, we realize that having 2 months worth of supply charges to pay for 1 month creates budgeting challenges and an unpleasant surprise for many people. So we want to acknowledge that. We understand that. So let's talk a little bit about what customers can do. If customers are unable to pay for the 2 months worth of charges in a single payment, we've spoken with PSE&G and ensured that you were able to make payment arrangements with PSE&G. If customers would like help arranging that payment schedule with PSE&G, representatives from Concord Energy Services can assist. Their number is on this slide, and we'll return to it toward the end of the presentation as well. For general questions about your account, you may also contact Constellation's customer care team at 833-263-0531 or email us at home@constellation.com. Additionally, Constellation will be offering current customers whose bills were affected by this issue a $25 bill credit. Active customers do not have to take any action for this bill credit to flow through. For other questions, please feel free to contact the Township's energy consultant, Concord Energy Services, at 866-688-5197. Lastly, on this slide, at any time, residents are free to opt out of the program without any fees or penalties or disruption in service by calling 877-292-3904 or visiting www.njaggregation.us/PTWP. So I think those are some of the basic facts that we wanted to cover. Tara, did I miss anything that you want to add, or Vicki?
I believe so. We just want to let everybody know that affected residents who still have questions after this Facebook Live event are invited to speak during the public portion of Pennsauken Township's next committee meeting. That's currently tomorrow, Thursday, October 23rd at 5:30 p.m. right here at the Pennsauken Township Municipal Building at 5605 North Crescent Boulevard.
Yeah, this video, just to kind of reiterate, this video is just one way that the township and Concord and Constellation are reaching out to residents about this issue. This isn't the only thing. Mayor McBride, in her open letter to the township residents, encourages residents, if they really do have additional questions or have some more concerns about this issue, to come talk to members of the committee, to come to township meetings, and talk during the public portion of those meetings. We have several each month.
All right, open up for questions.
Okay, so let's go for some questions. We've got something from Luis.
Luis asks, what's the benefit to us by having you, Constellation, as a third-party supplier? And I can answer some of that. I can take that one, Sam.
Sure.
The point of the program is to offer an option for residents to have reduced rates on the supply portion of their energy bills, so on the supply portion of their PSE&G bills, over the term of the contract for this program. So it's basically an option. Unlike the people that are walking around and knocking on doors, this program adds protections for residents. You have Concord as an energy consultant behind the scenes watching the market, making sure the program is running correctly and smoothly. And then also, again, over the term of the contract, there is a savings there for residents rather than if you had just stayed with PSE&G during that time period.
And Tara, maybe I'll just add as a reset for some folks, and probably most people tuning in understand this already, but when you choose Constellation or another third-party supplier in an aggregation program like this, your local utility, in this case PSE&G, continues to maintain lines, meters, read your meter, and also do the billing. So the supplier charges flow through the utility bill. Luis, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly, also asked if we would pay the amount owed to PSE&G. One thing I would say is that, kind of returning to what we talked about, we haven't found any situations where customers were billed for energy they did not use or at the incorrect rate. So while I would say, and one other thing, we're going to try to avoid solving specific individual cases on this call. I would say that in general, We're trying to create as many options for customers to pay their bill over time. And I think our understanding is that PSE&G will allow that to be done over 6 months. So we're hopeful that that will allow people to amortize any amounts that they owe over an amount of time that's more manageable. Beyond that, you are free to call our customer care center and explain more about your specific situation, and they're trained to listen and try to create some solutions. But I think that's my answer to that question.
We just got another question. Is there a way to opt out for all future programs? Yes, absolutely. At Concord, we have an option which is called a permanent opt-out, which is actually part of the program. You may absolutely call us at 866-688-5197 and let us know that you would like to permanently opt out of the Pennsauken Township program. And what that does is add you to a list of residents that have permanently opted out, and that way if the township decides to go with another program like this, your names would be removed from that list immediately and would never receive any information on the program, would not be included in the program either. So again, if you call Concord at 866-688-5197 and request to be permanently opted out, we can certainly accommodate that for you.
Tara, I think this is also it's a good segue. I know that a lot of residents, as we've been sharing this information, wanted to know why they had to be opted in automatically in the first place. So this might be a good segue to kind of explain why that happens, what we've kind of done to help get the word out that this is happening, and what they can do. Again, might want to reiterate, if they want to permanently opt out, give them that option.
Absolutely. Well, the reason that it's an opt-out program is basically because this program was developed by the state of New Jersey. It's overseen by the Board of Public Utilities and the Division of Rate Counsel, which is formerly the Ratepayers Advocate here in Jersey. And it is written as an opt-out program, which means all eligible residents within the town, and eligible residents means anyone that hasn't already gone out on their own and got their own third-party supplier. We also remove anyone that has solar panels. That way, a lot of people with solar panels, you get benefits called SRECs and credits for those solar panels, and we don't want to jeopardize anyone's credits. So we do remove those people. It's the opt-out program. Again, it's written by the state. That's part of the rules and regulations of the program, is that it has to be followed as an opt-out program. So in order to offer it to everyone in town, we do have to follow the rules of the program that were set by the BPU and the Rate Council.
Now, also, this does mirror what the state does for regular energy. Is that correct? Through PSE&G and
That's correct. That's correct. So every year, the state holds an auction in February to purchase all of the electricity requirements for the state's residents and commercial consumers. None of the utilities actually generate their own electricity. So they set the rate, and the rates are set in June. So this program mirrors what the state is already doing, just giving the community another option and offering consumer protections that come with the program. So the rate is fixed throughout the term of the program. There is no variable rates, so there's no teaser rate where it's smaller in the beginning and then it rises. The residents can get in and out of the program as often as they like, whenever they want, without any additional fees or penalties or charges. And also, too, the program is providing a reduced rate over what PSE&G is providing. So over the term of the contract, we are, looking to help residents reduce their costs.
So if people, again, if people are just saying, you know what, it's time to opt out, what's the process for that again? Let's reiterate that, and then talk about the timing, about how long that process could take.
If anyone would like to opt out of the program, they can certainly call Concord Energy Services at 866-688-5197 and just say, I would like to opt out of the program. We'll take a few moments to get your account number and then to get into our system, get the opt-out processed. We then send the opt-outs over to Constellation Energy, and then they would in turn opt all the residents out. So you could call Concord Energy Services at 866-688-5197. And there's also another line you can call that just takes opt-outs, and that is 877-292-3904. So there's two different phone numbers you could call. You could choose which you'd like to, Concord Energy Services or our designated call center that's specifically for opt-outs.
And what's the timing of that from the phone call to them being removed from the program?
When it comes to third-party supply, you can only be removed between meter read cycles. So it could take 1 to 2 billing periods for the opt-out to be processed and for you to go back to full service from PSE&G.
We have another question coming in. So I know that the township page has information about opting in and opting out online. If you go to the township's website, twp.pennsauken.nj.us, you'll find in some news items the open letters from Constellation and Mayor McBride. We have information, and we can put a special icon back up for the energy aggregation program. But if you do a quick search on our website, you'll find it. We'll put that link back up maybe within 15 minutes of this presentation. So if you give us a moment or two, we'll get that back up online for you. But it is online. There's direct links to opt-out information, and that, you know, it highlights the program. And if you opt out and decide you want to opt back in, there's options there as well.
Maybe while we're waiting for other questions, I'll add maybe a couple other features of the aggregation program that customers may not realize. But you know, one I think important feature to understand is that it's a fixed price, as Tara and Vicki mentioned, that doesn't change. You know, if you use more than 600 kilowatt hours in a month, it doesn't really matter. The price is going to stay the same within the aggregation program. So there's no tiered rate. Additionally, that rate will stay in place until November of 2020, whereas the rate for PSE&G will be changing in June. So, you know, one thing I like to explain to customers is that it is essentially a free option that customers have. And if they don't like it, if they prefer the PSE&G rate structure at any time, they're free to go back. So just wanted to mention that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing to keep in mind is that it's important to note that there were no extra charges billed. You're not being billed for energy that you did not use. It was just a simple billing error where Constellation missed the billing window to get the charges on the August bill. So that way, in order to rectify it, they were placed on the bill that you received this month in September, just to bring everybody back up to speed. So there were no extra charges billed. So the charges you see from Constellation are for the legitimate energy that was used the prior month. In addition to the current charges that, right, on the current September bill.
So, and if you look at your August bill, there's little line items. I believe it's in the top right-hand corner where it shows the energy rate, the supply charge, and then the source charge. I know I'm not talking technical,
right?
So you would see that there. So you're going to see in your August bill, it's actually missing.
Correct.
So for those that are affected,
right.
And if you look in September and in July, you're going to see, you know, difference because, you know, July it was PSE&G's general energy source, and for September it's on Constellation. So you're going to see that it was just that it was missed in the bill.
Right. You didn't have the opportunity to pay it because it did not appear there.
So we have a question about the credit, the $25 credit, how that would be administered to those that were affected.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. So the question is, how will the credit from Constellation be administered to those affected customers? So have to look at the billing cycles. I think most of the affected customers bill towards the end of the month. So what I believe will happen is that in the bill that you receive toward the end of October, you should see a $25 credit on that invoice. If that's not correct, we'll communicate with Concord and Pennsauken Township and notify. But it should appear on the invoice in late October.
And Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but all the affected residents, that will be automatically applied. They don't need to call and request that. Constellation is just doing that automatically for all affected residents.
Well, so one caveat, we can only apply that credit to customers that are still active. We're unable to apply a credit through PSE&G for customers that we're no longer serving. So any customer that's still active. If there are customers that would like to receive a $25 credit, one thing that we can do, and you're no longer active with us, you can call our customer service line, and we'll be able to issue a gift card, which we recognize is not as convenient as a bill credit, but we're simply not, there's not a physical way to issue a bill credit for customers who are no longer with us.
So that's all the questions we have right now. While we're waiting to see if one or two still trickle in, again, this is not the only information that we'll be providing about this. We've been sharing some information from Mayor McBride, from Constellation, from the information we received from Concord Energy Services. We've been doing that the last couple of days. You've seen a lot of that on social media. It's also on our website. And also, if you continue to have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Particularly for the nuts and bolts of this, talk to Concord Energy Services. Call 866-688-5197. They'll be able to, they're very familiar with, working with our residents here. They'll definitely hold your hand through the process, and if there's any issues or questions, they'll be more than willing to help. Constellation is also very aware of the impact this has had on residents, and they're doing their best here to kind of make sure that this will not ever happen again, and that moving forward that this is just a little hiccup in this program.
Yeah, and Frank, this is Sam from Constellation. Again, I'd like to, once again, especially for anybody joining late, on behalf of Constellation, to apologize for the inconvenience, both to the individual residents and also the township who has put together a great program here. And so we apologize for, we don't want that to reflect on the township. It's something that we as Constellation created, and while we're trying our best to rectify it, we know that there was disruption and inconvenience and frustration. So again, we want to apologize for creating the issue in the first place.
Okay, so as we haven't been getting any additional questions in, want to thank everyone who tuned in. Please, if you're catching this after the live broadcast, please feel free to share this. We will be responding to comments after the video has been completed. So if there's any additional questions, we will do our best to answer them as quickly and efficiently as possible. For those that have specific questions about your account, we ask that you do not post that on our public Facebook page. Call Concord with the phone number that we have here, the 866 number, and you can also send us a private message on our township page. We'll do our best to connect you with the right people and point you in the right direction. Also, on behalf of the township committee, if you do have questions, feel free to call in to our municipal offices, the 666 or the 665-1000 numbers. And then, also you can come to township committee meetings. You can stop by the offices during our normal business operations, and we will do our best to help. So on behalf of everyone here at Concord and Constellation and the township, we thank you for participating, and have a good rest of your day.